Welcome to the yesterday's Treasures Productions interview with Ambrosia's founder.
Well, one of the five.
One of the five.
One of the four.
And,
Three left.
There's
Three, fourth guy
three guys that are still with you.
Yeah, we're still three original members and three new guys.
I want to pronounce your name right.
Burleigh the Magnificent.
Burleigh the Magnificent. How many years has it been in the recording industry for the group?
Well, counting, when Ambrosia started, it was 1970, so it's 46 years. Yeah.
What I was looking at was you had like there was a gap of 1970 to 1982.
Yeah, that was our big run, our
That was
initial
the
run.
run, and then 89 to the present. Those 6 years, what happened? Like
Well,
solo stuff?
Yeah, a lot of great things happened. First of all, so the reason why we stopped is our business was so bad that we were, our manager owned everything. So we really couldn't make a living being Ambrosia as a band. So let's just say it got too thick for a while, and we needed to air out. But it's the best thing that ever happened to me because I was able to start a family,
Right.
and have kids, and everybody established their solo careers, and I did 3 albums with my wife, Tin Drum, a band called Tin Drum, and we started a studio which we still operate today. And Joe went off and played with Bruce Hornsby in the Range, and so it was great because everybody spread their wings a little bit. And then when we came back in '89, we realized that it's something we really like to do. Maybe we didn't need it to consume our life like it did in the '70s. So now it fits nicely. It's like a major part of our life, but it's not our entire lives.
Right.
So it's
How
nice
much pressure from the fans did you
Uh,
have to come back, or was it just time to come back?
We wanted to come back. It was like unfinished business for us. And once we got some of the elements out of the way that were obstructing us from the enjoyment of being in a band together, it was much easier for us to be Ambrosia and to enjoy playing.
How do you guys like performing on like this tour and the venues, like all the theaters, like the Performing Arts Center?
Oh, well, it's wonderful. We play quite a variety too. From not a small club, but smaller venues where it gets very rowdy.
Right.
To say like this beautiful venue, which is a Performing Arts Center, it's more of a listening audience, and
Is the Sail Tour strictly venues like this, or do you go into any other things besides Performing Arts Centers?
Last night we played in New York at the Irving Theater,
Okay.
Irving Plaza.
Plaza.
Where they had the shooting not too long ago. And that was much more intense. That was like, people standing packed like sardines, hot, sweaty, kind of, which was really cool because that's like a whole nother energy.
Right.
And then you come here and it's seats and, much,
Did you know you were going to when you booked that place?
Well, for a long time, we've been talking to, the Yacht Rock guys have talked to us about joining us. And it's kind of a new experience for us because their demographic is much younger. It's like 30-year-olds with sailor hats on.
Right.
And they drink a lot. So,
Do they remember the songs?
It's amazing. Their response to the hits is almost stronger than it is, than the generation they grew up with.
Right.
To them, it's like golden nuggets, and it's like every song is meeting with a scream.
You had How Much I Feel, the biggest part of me. They were charted songs like in the top 10.
Top
right?
10. I think You're the Only Woman was hanging around there too. I don't know how high. I thought it got top 10. I thought it got.
How Much I Feel was 1978, though.
Yes, right.
And the other two songs were 1980. Were they close? Like
Oh
maybe
yeah,
the same?
yeah. I think they were both top 10. But our first hit was Holding On to Yesterday,
Right.
which I think got in top 10. In some markets, it was number 1. I remember we went to a radio station in Denver, and the radio station, Holding On to Yesterday was number 1, and One of These Nights was number 2. So we were like, whoa.
And back then, was it the same as the 60s? A good friend of mine is Eddie Bugatti from
Oh,
the
yeah,
Rascals,
yeah.
and
My
was it like
favorite
that?
band
Was it
was
like
the
that?
Rascals.
We were with him a couple days
Oh,
ago.
yeah,
I spoke with
absolutely.
him today.
Dino Danelli, my favorite all-time drummer.
Yeah,
Just killer.
them guys, I mean, what happened with them is with the managers. Was it the same in the 70s and 80s as it was in the late 60s where the managers like had complete control? Like, Tommy James wrote that book where he had to actually go to his manager's office and take the gold records off the wall and said, "These are mine. You took everything else, don't take my gold records."
Yeah.
Was it different?
No, in the 70s was kind of the era before the artist enlightenment, where artists realized that they could be independent, and that whole slow progression of getting rid of the old school, mafia
Music mob.
So yes, but we still encountered a lot of that, where
And the early
Yeah.
60s and late 50s were,
Oh.
I'm going to make you a star,
Yeah.
put you up on stage, your name is going to be on the wax record,
Right.
and I own you.
yeah.
But you got the tour, and you made the money off the tour, and you got all the accolades from the audience, but
Yeah, but you were lucky to have a retirement of any kind.
it got better through the
It
years.
got a little better, but now we're making now we're actually making a living
Right.
off of our music, as opposed to the 70s where we literally recorded 5 or 6 albums for other people a year to support our band, even after having hit records. So you can see it still wasn't like you could have a #1 record and you still have to go to work in the morning to make a living. So,
Right.
yeah.
Except like maybe the Rascals.
Yeah.
Actually, well, the Four Seasons, Frankie Valley, that whole Jersey Boys thing was they owned the rights to the
There you
music,
go.
and they
Yeah.
took it.
Yeah.
They were with VJ, the early label, and they found out from the beginning they weren't making any money, so
Right.
they did what they had to do, and then they owned the rights to the music and
Right.
they ended up making the money.
Yeah.
But Ambrosia, who named the group?
Oh, the name. Well, it's kind of a convoluted story, but so we had the name Ambrosia. Joe actually picked out the name, and means nectar of the gods, the Greek gods. It's what they drank to ate to make themselves immortal. So we said, oh, our music's going to be immortal. But before that, it was called ambergris might, which is something they make perfume out of from the back of the whale's neck or something. But another band came along and got signed with that name. So the next name in the dictionary was Ambrosia.
It was like the Rascals and the Young Rascals.
Yeah, yeah.
They used the Young Rascals, you had to go to the Rascals.
Right.
I had to change the name.
Right.
And where did the word West Coast sound? How did it originate?
Well, I think that actually kind of was born in Europe as a way of defining, the sound. I mean, because we first heard about it when we went to Paris, and we walked in to play a gig, and they were saying the banners were the West Coast sound, and that's okay. The West Coast, you're calling
the
us
West Coast sound with the Beach Boys.
Yeah,
Too.
yeah, you're calling us the West Coast sound, so that's like the Beach Boys, Ambrosia, Toto, Michael McDonald, Christopher Cross. Even though we're not,
the soul, like the
it's like Blue-Eyed Soul.
Blue-Eyed Soul thing
yeah.
that,
Well, it's Blue-Eyed Soul slash
that's
rock.
what Jeff said, the sound.
Yeah, so Blue-Eyed Soul slash rock, with a little prog, all
It's
mixed
good to have
in.
a bunch of different categories.
Yeah, a lot of elements. Yes.
And the last thing I want to hold you up is,
Sure.
what does it look like for the future in at least the next year or two?
Well, we just started doing a new record that we're really excited about. And it's kind of, in our early days we had prog material and then we had pop hits. And now we're writing stuff that kind of is a really good combination of both.
Is Hopes and Dreams an older song that was remastered or something?
Yeah, it's been around about 4 years, and we finally had a reason to record it for a movie called The Sparrow's Nesting. And so it forced us to finish it. And now that's gotten us into the groove of recording again. And really, I'm going to try to have a new record out by the end of the year.
Yeah, we've been playing it in New York.
Oh, thank you,
For
man.
the last couple of
Great.
weeks.
Thanks.
So it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you
My
up on
pleasure.
stage.
Thank you, man. And
Thank
so
you.
I'll go see if